only got 35 seconds to get in here.
Yeah.
Tom?
I'm coming already.
If you don't get back in here,
I heard you the first time.
we're starting without you.
Just open the back door.
Why are you always late?
45 seconds is plenty of time. I'm coming.
Every day the same thing.
Look out, coming through.
We've got a show to do here.
It's gonna be close.
Classic.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Beyond the Blur, the podcast where anime, gaming, tech, and pop culture collide with unfiltered conversation. Hosted by Big Manny, alongside Ray Rax and MKJ Digital, we're diving deep into the stories, the science, and the madness behind the culture we love. From legendary games to multiverse theories, from controversial takes to the latest anime debates, nothing is off limits. So grab your controller, adjust your headset, and get ready. Beyond the Blur starts now.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rabbits and raccoons, if you hear my voice, you see my face, you are now tuned into Beyond the Blur podcast. Today we got a special guest. He go by the name of Quentin. He created Knights of the Abyss. Can we get a round of applause for Quentin? Or better yet, since we're going to talk about anime.
Vegeta! What does the scouters say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Yes, sir. We coming in live. What's up with you, Q?
What's good, man? How are y'all doing, man? It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, man. I just want to thank you because technically you are our first official guest. With this new concept and this new show. I know we see a lot of people doing a lot of things with anime on social media, but what we wanted to do is bring that old feeling back where you could just tune in live, have conversations with your friends like we used to play N64 and just chop it up. No matter what the topic is, we have a friendly argument just like we do in the lunch table back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we're doing. We just want to bring it back to our roots and let these new kids know where this came from. Where all of this came from. So again, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being here. I speak, I guess, for myself and Ray and Miles, who decides to hop in and out, but hopefully he hops back in. So thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm feeling the vibe, man. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And for you and anybody else that's watching, if you got any addiction like us to video games, anime, Marvel, DC, if you ever feel like you want to come on and be a panelist with the topics that we got, this is your listen, you welcome. You and anybody else who's listening, you welcome, because all we're trying to do is extend the olive branch, the network with as many people as possible. All right.
Bet that. I'm sure I'll be back, man. Definitely.
Absolutely. But while we getting into it, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know we know who you are, but for the people that might be watching on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, we in a couple of different places right now. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah. So my name is Quentin Dorsey. I'm the writer and creator of Night of Abyss. It's a Western independent manga series. I have currently 3 books out, but I'm relaunching this series on Webtoons and pretty much completely redoing the series to format it specifically for Webtoons. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, man, I'm a young creator from Maryland, from Anne Arundel County. I started writing KOA fresh out of high school, so I look way younger than I really am. Definitely.
So you gotta be a Commanders fan.
I'm actually not, bro. I was a Cowboys fan for a long time. But when the Colin Kaepernick thing shit happened, I just stopped. I stopped fucking football altogether.
I feel it.
Yeah. So now,
I feel it.
If I watch the games, it just be with family or friends. But I'm not really a fan to anybody really anymore.
I got you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
but I guess my question to you is, what kind of got you into creating anime type style art?
So I'm the writer and creator, not the actual artist.
Hey, but you
Oh, yeah.
still in the space,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
something that had to bring you into it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, childhood, really. I
Okay.
grew up off of, I grew up off of everything. I mean, all the way back from like X-Men 90 series, Spider-Man's 90 series, Batman animated series, shit,
Okay.
Biker Mice from Mars, Ninja Turtles, just everything. Justice League Unlimited, all those like classic like Marvel and DC, and then some of those like other like series like Ninja Turtles and all that. But I would
Okay.
say anime was like the first anime I ever watched was, I want to say it was a weird anime called Sin, or no, it was Ninja Scroll. My uncle,
Oh,
he had brought me and my brother Ninja Scroll, and we were like maybe 6 or 7. We were kids. We shouldn't have been watching Ninja Scroll, but we were watching it. And we like, what is it? We never seen nothing that was so raw, so violent, and just, you know what I mean, just different.
and it just had you
So
hooked ever since, huh?
yeah.
That was it.
So from there it was like, all right, we just completely animate out, and then shit, watching Dragon Ball Z. When Dragon Ball Z hit the scene, it was like, all right, like everything that they doing over here on the West can't even compare to what they doing over there in Japan. So Dragon Ball Z, then the whole Adult Swim, Tsunami, Inuyasha, G Gundam, shit, Big O, Cowboy Bebop, Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh, he one of us. Hear that, Gen Z? He one of us. You
Yeah,
see all of that he naming out. He's one of us. He's one of us. He can't take it back.
yeah, I mean, we could get into that because there's definitely a distinction between like anime fans from our generation and anime fans now. It's like way different. So, but yeah, I come from that though. I come from like where it was just, it was very different. Like I think now when it comes to anime, you got like if you just take Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and then like Chainsaw Man. Remember like a couple years ago, like those were like, well, those are like really popular anime. And when I would sit back and I would look at that, I would be like, all 3D shows are pretty much about the same shit. It's just just fighting demons or whatever. And it was weird
Yeah,
because when I look at it from when we were growing up, Inuyasha was nothing like Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist is nothing like Code Geass. Code Geass is nothing like Death Note. Death Note is nothing like Dragon Ball Z. It was, to me, it wasn't people just trying to copy the next one. Nowadays,
right.
you have, I feel like over there they're just copying each other. Everything is about the
That's
same
that's
stuff.
that's a
Yeah,
fact.
that dilutes the quality. But we could get into why that works, because we could argue that, I mean, TV literacy is significantly lower now, especially in younger generation kids, because they have TikTok brain and they have Instagram, and you know they're more easily entertained. So you don't really gotta try too hard. Then just flashy fight scenes, you know. So
Gotcha.
don't get me
So
rambling though. Don't get me rambling, bro.
no. I listen. That's what we here for: to connect the people, to have these conversations. But out of all of those animes that you were talking about, you kind of answered it a little bit. But I want to see if you can kind of like lock in a little more and
Yeah.
kind of tell me like what was the specific anime that landed you here. We kind of heard what your first was. We dabbled into a little bit, but what was the
Yeah.
one that brought you into the space and you like, I'm finna do this?
I would say my biggest inspirations that made me want to tell a story that was very substantive would be Code Geass, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, those two. I would say those two were the ones that was like, those are my biggest inspirations.
Okay.
But I would say, as far as what made me want to be like a creator, this is something I've been telling my family or parents I was going to do since I was like 4. You can ask my parents. I used to walk around the house when I was a kid, and I used to be like, I'm going to be a cartoonist. I didn't know what a cartoonist was. And then I tried to draw, and I was like, oh shit, I can't draw. So from there, it was like, all right. But my imagination was always there. Like I always, like if I could draw, I swear I would be the greatest artist ever. But as far as like my imagination with storytelling and just, always being able to just visualize stuff in my head, that's always a God-given gift. Like I remember when I was in school, they used to think I was slow because in elementary school I couldn't get no work done. I would be sitting there in class, I just would be like thinking about that X-Men episode, and I'll be coming up with all these stories in my head, and they'd be like, "Yo, at the end of the day, you're looking at my paper, that should be blank." Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with this kid? So I was like,
I literally just made like a video today, and I was like, if you take a room full of 10 people, right, and you put, let's say you put all 10 people in this room, and it was one anime person, I always felt like that person that watched anime by a landslide is going to be smarter than everybody else, because you got to get into like character development. You got to be creative. You got to sit there and be patient and watch for character arc and all of those things. So listen, and what do they say about the creative people? Like, they get bored with work. So you gotta say, we need to put him in a remedial class, like he's not interested in this. But when really the actuality is, no, he just was, he's different. He's a creative type of person. So you grow up into this person that you are, and next thing you know, you illustrating, you drawing, and here you go, you create something like Knights of the Abyss.
Yeah, nah, that's definitely true. I mean, I think the way the educational curriculum is structured, it tries to put everybody in a cookie cutter, and that don't even make any sense. Like, but that goes to the overall structure of capitalism. I mean, school in general is just grooming you to come into the 9 to 5. Really, I mean, it's not really grooming you to be what you'd be best at, or like really identify like your talents or where you would thrive at. It's just, all right, can you get up at 6 a.m. and, you know, speed to work? I mean, that type of shit.
Yeah. I got you. Can you talk about the challenges that you've had get into this spot that you are now? Because I know you're on, I think you got, is it 8 volumes or 8 chapters?
It's 3 books, but there's 2 chapters in each book. So it's like 6 chapters. But by the end of the year, God willing, we're gonna have like the first 12 episodes on Webtoons, and that'll be, I want to say, half. Oh no, not half. Maybe a third of like the first season. So it'll be a good amount. But yeah. Excuse me. What was the question? My fault. Lost my train of thought.
So basically, can you talk about some of the challenges? Because I'm looking on like the Instagram stream, and I see people coming in, and you might have somebody that's young and been thinking about doing this, and they're facing all these type of challenges. And your family is always the first people to say, "Don't do that. Go to college. Do this and do that." But that's not what's in your heart. So can you talk about some of the challenges that you probably would have had, or the challenges that you had getting into this space?
All right. So first thing I want to say is, for the kids, this is not a lucrative space. Like, people, I don't care who is telling you they're getting big. It's not a lucrative space. Like, you got to definitely make sure that you either getting skills. Like for me, I went and I got my bachelor's and my master's along with like computer certifications and working with the federal government as a cybersecurity analyst. And my whole reasoning for doing that was so I could have enough money and resources to really create KOA and really be marketed and really jump completely out the window and really go as hard as possible with it. So I would say the first thing you definitely got to do while you're writing your story, because I started writing it while I was in college. So that was I didn't finish my whole college run until like, it was like 8 years. Like undergrad, graduate school, that was like 8 years. And I didn't actually start really putting all my money and all my resources into KOA until, I want to say, 3 years after I graduated and when I was already working in the workforce. But if I didn't go to school and I didn't get skills and was able to get like a high paying salary, resources and all that, I would have never been able to put that shit together. So
for sure,
that's very important. So I would say that's number one. And some of the challenges I faced was I want to say early on trying to figure out how to market myself. Like I was online. There's an echo.
Let me see. It's probably more of an echo. Do you hear echo coming from my side?
Nah.
So if you got your phone on the table, it's probably reading the feedback. Trust me, I've been through that.
Huh. All right. Well, fuck it. Oh, all right. But all right, yeah. So yeah, trying to figure out how to market on social media. So like I was online for like 2018, and I remember I was stuck at like 1,000 followers for a whole year. And I'm like, dang.
So the chat is saying they need to mute themselves or each other speak. It's echoing. Let me see. Let me try to turn this down for you guys. Give me a second. All right. All right, let's go now.
All right.
And chat, since you, because somebody, I guess.
I think you got to mute yourself.
Hey, shout out to you, Mr. Mitch, telling me he said he think it's the table. So it's probably the table that's giving feedback. So if I'm coming in a little clearer now, hey, thank you, number one, and let me know if it's clears up. But go ahead. Sorry about that. We was talking about challenges.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say trying to grow a fan base in the beginning was definitely a task because I stayed stuck at like 1,000 followers from like 2018 all the way 2019, and then I guess the algorithm was it started picking up, and from there, shit, it just took off, and people just started following me, and people just started liking the designs and all that. So that was one of the biggest ones, trying to figure out how to get a following. And outside of that, I went hard, bro. I didn't really worry about any hiccups or taking losses or any of that, because my mindset was just keep going. So.
Okay. So I heard you go through the challenges and everything, but how about balancing it all? Was there a way that you had to balance it all? Because we know anytime you got too much going on in your brain, your creative process start breaking down. Like sometimes you just kind of like either need to meditate, get in a quiet room, but almost some people is elevated by stress. Some people get inspired by stress, but then other people, that creative process just completely shuts down. So when you're talking about balancing the two worlds, the professional and got to go to work and got to go to school, and then creating Nights of Abyss, how did you like balance that out?
So I would say for me, it was interesting because I would say in my 20s, like we was partying a lot. I'm from the DMV, so like DMV is like a huge party area. So it was like I would go party, and then I used to gamble back in the day. I quit, but I used to gamble.
Shout out to the people who eat the mumbo sauce and listen to Go Go. Hey, I went to Maryland, DC, Maryland, Virginia one time. Shout out to my wife. And I just want to go back. They got some of the best seafood in the country, hands down. My bad for cutting you off, but I just had to give DMV a shout out.
Hey, bro, the DMV is lit, man. Y'all gotta come fuck with this, man. But now I would say working a 9 to 5, and then then also working 9 to 5, going to conventions, still writing a story. I would say the best way I balanced it was, in my mindset, I never really was complaining. Like I signed up for it, so I actually welcome like the challenge of like working from Monday to Friday and hopping on the road or whatever to go drive to Philly or fly wherever, and then working that whole weekend and coming right back and going right back and doing all that. So I think for anybody, if you really want something, you'll make a way. You'll find a way to make it happen. And if you really want this and you really are signing up for this, then you can't have a mindset of where you're going to quit because you're tired. Like you can't really have a quitter or a complainer mindset. You got to have like a real hustler mindset. Like I signed up for this, this is what I want. I got to go.
I got you. Well, we didn't play 21 questions enough. Now it's time to get to the fun part of the show. Now that we know Q a little bit more, now we finna get ready and have some fun. So we got 4 topics of this show that both me, you, and Ray, we're going to answer. And if you in the comments at all, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, I know my Instagram is stronger than my YouTube. We trying to get that up so we can bring the whole community together. But feel free to answer these questions with us or argue with us. I'll be pitching in, looking at the chats and everything. So if you see me looking around like a crazy bird, that's because I got my phone in my left hand. I got the laptop over here, got the mic over here. So I'm kind of like a DJ right now. So, but my first question is going to be, what's the last game or anime you played that you would call a masterpiece?
God of War, Ragnarok, the one that just came out, or that came out a year or two ago. And the last anime I watched that I would call a masterpiece. Attack on Titan for sure.
Hey, bravo. So, Ray, you want to go? Ray, you got me?
You want me to go next?
Yeah, you go next, because I got a YouTube video for my it's a game, but we ain't gonna give the audience too much too soon.
Okay, well, the last game that I was playing, so I went back and played all of the Dragon Ball Z Budokais. That's been on all of them.
Oh, classic.
Budokai, actually from the GT game all to now. And I was telling you, I've been watching that. I've literally, that's been what I've been on. Like his development. That is one.
You breaking up a little bit on my end.
Yeah, you breaking up.
Hear me? Maybe I'm not close.
You can try it now.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, what I was saying is, like last week, Baki, I'm watching that. I finished all of that, and I think it's a masterpiece. I think that to see the development of him and him battling his dad, I think it's one of the best I've watched.
Okay. All right. So I don't really got no masterpiece when it comes to like anime. I just think all anime, it's like they come in and then they get hot, they catch your attention that first season, and then if it's really popular, it's a long-winded, like for example, One Piece. Like for you to even get in it, you had to have patience.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, my masterpiece, it would be a game. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, I played that. That shit was fire. Yeah.
That game right there. This is just a little piece of it. Yeah. And this is, I don't hope I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. Basically, this is like the final boss fight, and he got to fight his uncle.
Uncle, yeah.
Like the story is absolutely crazy, and I'm a real man, I'll tell you that. But by the end of this game, I almost shedded a tear. Like I did not want this game to end at all. Like he had to literally fight his uncle for like glory and everything, or whatever it was. But that for me was a masterpiece. The graphics was absolutely amazing, and then the boss fight before that, like literally what ended up happening was like you get it's a regular boss fight, so you get the boss meter, but then after you knock it down to a certain part, he becomes like a regular guy, so you could just play around with him, run around knocking him upside the head and everything. This is like truly one of the games that I just like got so hyped off of just playing, and my wife had to tell me to calm down because I got the big 85-inch screen TV full blasted. And last but not least, just so I don't get long-winded, just the way he can maneuver around and assassinate people and everything. The more and more you go on with the game, you gain skills and you can kill people a different way. So it's so in-depth. They just released that they're coming out with a part 2. I don't know when that's coming out, but if I figure it out, I'll let the group know. But that's gonna be mine. That was a masterpiece for me.
That was a good pick. I played Ghost of Tsushima too. That shit was hard.
Yeah, like it Ray, if you ever get a chance, don't sound like you played it, or the look in your face don't look like you played it. You keeping it OG with all of the old games. This is the one that get an OG video game stamp of approval. Like I'm gonna get a sound effect or something, an OG stamp of approval. Said my nephew played that game. It's nice. Yeah, like that. The game is crazy. So this is my favorite part of the show. And this is the part where we go viral. This is the part where if there is somebody in the chatter that's streaming with us, you know, it's going to be an all-out battle. It's called Unpopular Opinion. Basically, what you do is you find an unpopular opinion, no matter whether it's anime, science, or technology, and you say, hey, I'm going to stand on this hill and I might die by myself, but this is an unpopular opinion. I don't like this anime, and it might be an anime that everybody else like. So I'm going to start with myself since, you know, it ended with me. But as a matter of fact, while I pull my notes up, Q, can you start with it? Let's start with you because I got to pull my notes up.
Anime going mainstream was the worst thing for anime quality.
Explain.
You think so? Yeah, explain.
All right. So the other day I was scrolling and I seen a post from one of these little anime pages or whatever, right? And it was some new anime that's coming out from Korea, and it was like it's the spiritual successor of Jutsu Kaisen. And I just was like, yo, here we go. Like I ain't never when have we ever said when you look at classic anime, like is there a spiritual successor to Dragon Ball Z or a spiritual successor?
No.
Like so that's my point. It's like it going mainstream, you get these hype beasts who is just they don't really care about the culture too much. They just care about what's going to get them clicks. So they have stupid habits like that, which the creator, whoever made whatever anime that they were talking about, I guarantee you he would be offended if they're like his shit that he worked on is just some, copycat of something that already came out. So I just think, and then also I think when you look at the way people are measuring whether or not something is good or not is based on stupid shit like website reviews, which we all know that shit is cooked. It's not accurate at all. Like it's bots, it's weird fandoms that go and they'll review bomb stuff, but this is actually some sort of measure that people are using to make a decision on whether or not something is good or not. Like, so to me, I think it's going mainstream and it kind of lowers the quality. So,
I think that'll be 50-50. I think some people will agree with you. I think some people agree with you.
Yeah, with that one for sure.
Ray, what you got for us?
About something about because you said what I was thinking that a lot of I was thinking about something with a lot of with a new phone. I think wait they charge us so much money for the and they really
pick your phone up.
Wait,
you can't hear me. Pick your phone up. I don't think because you're still breaking up. I think you was doing a little bit better when you had your phone in your hand.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear now.
Okay, I was talking about with iPhones. I think that and I guess this is my personal opinion. I feel like every time they come out with another new iPhone, I think it's a waste because all they're really doing is adding the camera or adding little features. I think that it's a waste. All that new tech, they're not really putting any new technology in them.
I think that's a popular opinion.
Yeah,
that's a popular opinion. I think you'll have some people that like iPhones and they just gonna buy it no matter what. They'll come out with an orange version of the iPhone and slap a bigger number on there, and they'll just go buy it. Just capitalism, and that they just got a hook on them. But I agree with you. Q, you agree with that? That's an easy one. I don't think that's unpopular. I think
that's true though.
Unless my phone breaks, I'm not getting another phone.
Right. Yeah, me either.
I still got a 12, and I refuse to get another. Unless something happened to it, I'm not getting another one.
All right. So my unpopular opinion, and I had to sit with this because I was like, I don't want to just be talking to be talking. But out of all of the anime intros that I've heard, I think Dan Dan is the second best anime intro out of all of them. It's called Unpopular Opinion for a reason, and the only anime that beats Dan Dan is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes.
That is nuts. That is a crazy unpopular opinion.
That's how you do unpopular opinion. I'm willing to die. Like, anytime Dan Dan comes on, like, it goes crazy. Like, you can listen to it in the gym. Like, it's one of the only anime intros that you just, like, you listen to it and instantly you perk up. Everything else is like, it hits you, but it don't hit you like Dan Dan. It's fast paced. The BPMs must be a little bit higher or whatever it is versus other animes. But I'm not talking outros, because Inuyasha got probably number one when it comes to outro.
Inuyasha's goated.
Yeah. But when it comes to just intros in itself, Dan Dan got number two. Dan Dan got number two, and I'll only put old school DBZ at 3 because this DBZ. But Inuyasha, but
I think Attack on Titan Attack on Titan outro was pretty hard. They had the last season, like those last 2 outros was hard. Samurai Champloo had a really fire intro and outros as well. I don't know if you tapped the Samurai Champloo, but yeah.
Hey, Ray, you got anything to say against my my unpopular opinion?
I think I agree.
Oh, so I'll take that. All right, topic 3. We're gonna get a little bit of weird just because Beyond the Blur is science tech anime. So we're gonna kind of go sci-fi a little bit. Now, if you've been a Marvel fan, or matter of fact, any anime fan, there's always parallel universes. So they had to get that idea from somewhere. So my question to you guys is, do you believe in parallel universes? Is there a multiverse? Q?
I don't necessarily think I believe in a parallel universe. I mean, it would just be so far fetched. I mean, I don't believe it. I mean, I've heard theories like they say when you go to sleep and you have dreams, it's like your consciousness all like collapsing on each other. Like, so like the future, the past, it's all happening. The present is all happening at the same time. And when you go to sleep, your consciousness is all like coming to one. So that's why people have deja vu, or they have dreams about the future or the past or whatever. It's because it's all happening at the same time in your consciousness when you sleep. So, but I don't think it's bro.
All right, I got you. Ray, what you talk about?
I definitely think that.
Hold up. I muted you. My bad. I muted you. I'm trying to go through and mute everybody to make sure there's no feedback. But go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, I think that there are multiverses. I believe there's parallel universes. I think when you sleep and you astral project and you go to another world, I believe when you're dreaming, you're in a whole nother universe. I believe that just everything. I feel like there's another me somewhere. There, you know how they say that you have a doppelganger. I think that person isn't in this universe. I think they're in another universe. I feel like that there are 100 of us. I feel like when I make a mistake, I feel like somewhere in another universe they did it correctly. I feel like everything in life there is a opposite of that. So every time you make a mistake or you make a decision, somebody has made that opposite decision in another universe. I just believe that there are multiples of me. I feel like there's a white version of me. I feel like there's an Asian version of me. I feel like I just feel like the way the world is and the fact that we don't know so much, there's no way that there can't be. I just truly believe that.
I muted. Manny, you muted.
Did he mute me?
Nah, he muted himself.
Nah, I got it. I unmuted myself. So I'm gonna lean a little bit more into kind of like what you saying, right? Like, just from a scientific standpoint, right? If you was to look at absolutely every single number of planets that they say that's out there, it's almost mathematically impossible it's almost mathematically impossible to almost be the only ones. All right. So we know there got to be another world. But then if you look at just the basic fabric of computers and simulation and everything, there's always a chance of copies. There's always a chance of copies. And I had a friendly conversation with the wife because we was just having a fun conversation about it. And she was like, where do deja vu come from? And I was like, some people think that deja vu could be like a part of this theory of this reasoning. Obviously, I can't confirm nor deny it. None of us can. But with everything that's happening and everything, you just got to think that there got to be a parallel universe somewhere. So that's me. That's where I'm gonna hang my hat on. But all right, so let me see. I think we got one more, and then we'll slowly wrap it up. So the final topic is anime has gotten bigger outside of Japan than inside of Japan for the first time. What does the future look like globally for anime or manga going forward? And I'm gonna start it off with the person who's done a little bit of writing in this field. Q, what we talking about?
Man, international. There's every group around the world is getting in on like manga anime. You mean you got over there in China where they don't call it anime, forget what they call it something else, but it's pretty much anime. Over there in India, they're doing their versions of anime. Korea already, they got their thing going with Solo Leveling and so many other great manga adaptations. And over here in America, I mean, we got the Black anime movement coming. So I mean,
Oh, for sure.
I think the future is bright, and I think it's a good thing for everything to span internationally. Even though you got some people who are like whatever, and there's always gonna be opposition to whatever. So but now I think international is pretty much next for all these different groups and cultures to do their own versions of anime. So.
Okay, Ray, what we talking about? Let me unmute you before you start, because I see you muted. I think I figured out where the feedback was coming from. Are you good?
So I think it's only going to get bigger. With all the celebrities that are now talking about anime and in their music they talk about it. So there's an audience of people who didn't even know what anime was or even watched it, but because of all the celebrities that are talking about it and all the people who are getting into it. I'll tell you this: I have 2 kids, and the stuff my daughter be talking about anime, and she got all the anime plushies and all of this stuff, and she's 11. And she's a kid, and so they starting young. So like, it's only going to get bigger. It can only get bigger.
Yeah,
so,
right.
100%.
All right, so I'm leaning 2 different ways. You guys right. It's only going to get bigger, right? But part of me, okay. I know I'm rambling a little bit because I'm trying to collect my thoughts, but 2 years ago, I went to the Chicago Anime Convention, Comic-Con. All I had to simply do was walk up, grab a ticket, go in. Life was great. That's the way it's always been. For you to watch anime or invest in anime back in that day, they kind of looked at you weird or peculiar, but now it's becoming a little bit more normalized. And just last year, I tried to go to the same Comic-Con, and they was like, these tickets have been sold out 2 years. So to what you guys are saying is getting bigger.
Yeah.
I was able to go 4 towns over, grab tickets from a comic book store because they have not learned that trick yet. Get your Comic-Con tickets from a comic book store. But when I actually got in there, what I saw was bittersweet. What I saw was more of a fashion show. What I saw was more of a attention thing. What I saw was a photo op. It became a party, and I started reminding myself of the story of Atlanta in the Freaknik. I'm not gonna lie to you, because if you know the story of Freaknik was a college party that went left really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for the anime culture. I am joyous that it's being normalized, but it terrifies me as well because they're taking something that I love and could potentially exploit it, which is one of my biggest motivations to try to rush to this space because at least I love the space. I love the creators. I love the culture. And I don't want a big company to come and BET me or BET somebody where it's, hey, let me throw $1 million your way. Now, they could come and still do it, find some great guests and hosts and throw a lot of money at it. And next thing you know, it's a Comic-Con black party every year. But that's the part that terrifies me because I'm going to become the 65-year-old old man in the rocking chair upset watching the 2025 Comic-Con black convention, and it's going to be Megan Thee Stallions everywhere.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of. I mean, yeah, you go to Anime NYC. I mean, cosplaying is a huge part of like the culture, anime culture now. So, but I get what you're saying, where you just got people who they just you know what I'm saying, they there for some other shit. They're not really fans. It's just
And it's always the pre-qualifying people before we say you're one of us. like nobody wants to say it's a thing where since I'm one of the OGs and I grew up off of anime, if I say Dragon Ball Z was my favorite anime and I was to go into detail, you can't argue with me.
Yeah, me.
But there are women who are 20 to 29, and if I say name your favorite anime character, it's either going to be Monkey D. Luffy or Goku every single time. Every single time. I can't be mad at it, but it also is like Goku's story now is nothing like Goku's story when I was in middle school. He had a better story.
Yeah. I don't even watch Dragon Ball Super. I feel like it just disrespected the legacy that I remember so much. I mean, when they turned Frieza, I remember Frieza I used to have nightmares about Frieza on the Namek, planet Namek. I really did. He was a very scary villain, like one of the best villains of all time. And in Super, he's just like a clown. I was like, yeah, I can't watch this shit. So
yeah. So I guess we'll slowly wrap it up unless we got any final comments. Oh, Q, how do the people support you? Let's go there. Or do we still got a WeFunder going on and anything? How can the community support you?
Yeah. So I'm on the WeFunder closes April 23rd this year. We've had it open for about a year and 6 months in April. So we raised about 130K so far. We got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but I've been sworn to secrecy, so I can't really talk about that. But I will say that 2025 we should get some headlines. You know what I'm saying? Shake the room. You feel me? So
don't forget about the little people. Don't forget about us little people. I still want interviews and everything.
I got y'all for sure. But yeah, man. So if you want to, so the WeFunder basically is it's crowd equity funding. Shares are at I think it's at 70 cents now or 50 cents. It's at 70 cents now. So yeah, they're cheap. Minimum's only $100. And yeah, man, we're gonna close this thing out. And God is great. So we got to
absolutely
2025 about to be crazy. So yeah, definitely. Hold on, let me should I drop the link in here or
yeah, you can email me the link, and then what I'll do is on the YouTube and on the Instagram, I'll link it in there. So people that actually make it to this part, it'll be right there. And then I'll chop everything up as well. So I'll make sure it gets put out there at times. And then I'm vowing to you're gonna get a donation from me as well.
Well, investment.
Listen, donation, investment. I'm in it, but that's just my thank you. But other than that, Ray, you got any final thoughts?
I did have asked writer's block?
Writer's block? Yeah, but I would say how I deal with writer's block is meditation. Like sometimes if I'm about to sit down, I'm about to write, and I'm just like, damn, I'm stuck. I just meditate for like 15, 20, 30 minutes. And usually that kind of just gets it out the way. So really that's how I always deal with writer's block, is meditating or just sitting at that computer for like 5-6 hours. I mean, just pretty much one of those.
That part. But other than that, I have nothing else to say, but I will say to everybody that's still watching, if you feel like you want to be a part of the panel, if you feel like you got something that you could share with us, definitely email me at blacknassacrelations@gmail.com. And what I'll do is I'll get you in here. And what we'll do is we'll just keep growing the community. Other than that, I'm about to get ready and roll up out of here for my brother Ray, Q, and then Maz, who was never supposed to be leaving as early as he did. Maybe he see us somewhere. We up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your outro.